good morning if you prefer. Welcome to the Morning DNA. I'm Aaron Dicer, the man of a single black shirt, this time with a collar. She is Danae Hughes, the woman of a million distractions, and we're here to find out what March 21st, I guess, is made of. March 21st.
I guess.
2022.
How do you not know the date? Yeah.
Because I just woke up. I don't know what's going on with my body.
Did you sleep? Did you oversleep?
I overslept. Like, I haven't slept past 7 a.m. in maybe 15
100
years. Yeah, it's been forever.
It's been 100 years.
My body was like, no, we're just going to sleep. We're just going to sleep today. I was like, all right, I guess you need some sleep.
Well, that's good. I mean, let's just be honest. We are traveling too much.
Not
too
enough.
much.
Not enough.
Oh man, it disrupts everything. I feel like I just got into a routine in my life, and then it's just like travel, and we're not even done yet. I have 2 more trips coming up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I love traveling. It's one of my favorite things. But the disruption is weird. It really is. The disruption is no bueno sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, I want to make sure that this is in the shot. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Danae has moved a book into the shot.
Guys, we're nearing launch of the book When the Corn is Waist High, which is a thriller novel by my boss, Jeremy Scott. It is good, and it makes you want to throw it across the room when you get to the parts that sometimes novels will put in front of you. Yeah. And I'm really excited about it. We're really, really trying to get more people to pre-order. So I'm going to put it in all of my streams so that people can remember to go and purchase it. You can go to cinemasins.com/book if you want to pre-order it.
There you go. And this ad has been brought to you by our love and
jobs.
admiration. Or our jobs.
It's actually not my job. It truly is like just wanting to help like promote something that our boss did. Because it's his personal project. It's not, I mean, technically he's CinemaSins. But it's really fun when you see somebody get passionate and they're really excited for something and they're good at it. And it doesn't get a lot of attention because it's not like the big thing or whatever. So,
yeah. Yes, Wydock. MCO is the airport in Orlando, and that is what Danae is repping today. Is Orlando Airport MCO?
That is not correct. Let's see what's up here. We had some reactions to the shirt. Where's my reactions to the shirt? Oh, there it is. Got a Moco shirt on. Moco is my one of my absolute favorite Twitch channels. So if we're watching on Twitch, you can go check out Moco Made. I think you can put a shout out in my channel. And they are pushing to partner. So they're getting enough views every single day that they're going to be able to qualify for partner level, which is going to be a big deal. They're just like a sibling show. I've talked about them a lot. I love them. I buy their merch. I wear their pants. I wear their shirt. I drink out of their cups. I'm a fan.
Wow. It sounds very stalkery when you put it like that.
I visited their house. I've entered their basement.
I wear their pants. I wear their shirts.
I've touched all of their leather. I looked inside of their laser machines.
What?
No, guys, no.
Yeah.
That's what this is. So this is their merch. Moco Made.
Speaking of getting used to something, can somebody help me out? Did we just like kill daylight savings time when I wasn't paying attention? Did like the Congress like vote and just like am I missing? I'm serious. Somebody was talking about it last week, and somebody was talking about it this morning. That like after this last daylight savings, like somebody was like, "We're done with this." I don't know. Listen, I don't know anything. I'm trying to figure it out.
You
That's
just
why I'm
woke
asking.
up. We're getting Just Woke Up Aaron on the show today. Just Woke Up Aaron is one of my favorites. There's a chance he's grumpy, but there's also a chance that he's really gullible. And for the first time, we can actually influence what he thinks.
Listen. I'm going to look it up. Daylight savings
Uh,
time permanent.
Y Quixote says the Senate passed it accidentally, but the House probably won't.
Oh, so it's not official, but like the
Okay.
process has started. I see. Accidentally? What do you mean accidentally?
I know that's what I was. That's what I was gonna say. Like, what is
Oops,
accident?
guys, we wrote a bill. Oopsie.
What if they did it as a joke, and then one day they're all just like, you know what? Let's do something fun today. We've been really serious for a long time. Let's do something fun. Let's kill daylight savings, and then they just do it.
Well, it's the opposite actually of killing daylight savings. It's making daylight savings permanent. And what I mean by that is this time. So like the daylight savings part of our schedule will be permanent all year round. So
every day we wake up, it's 1 hour later every day.
every Sunday it will shift 1 hour. That would be amazing.
Oh God, the chaos that would cause. I mean, it's okay. So the chaos monster in me is kind of like, let's go, right? Let's see. But man, the logistics of that. It would just be keeping track of what time it is. I really love it. Oh no.
Well, if you want to combine your chaos monster with my practicality, we could talk about universal time, because that would also be a chaos monster originally. People would be like, what do you mean it is 2 a.m. when it's bright outside? I don't like, people would
but
be.
Who cares? It's just a number, right?
It's just a number.
It's just a number.
It can represent different things to different people in different places of the world. The nice thing is if you talk to somebody in the UK, you can just be like, hey, it's 5. And they're like, yeah, it's 5 here too, because it's 5 everywhere.
Rebel's in the chat. He's like, good morning, because for a rebel, it is noon. Right. We know how to have these conversations.
Correct.
We are adults.
Yes. Oh.
They presented it, and no one objected because nobody was paying attention. So it passed by in unanimous consent, and normally someone objects, and that leads to oral arguments and then a vote. Oh my God, that's fantastic. What a great moment in history.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Is it possible that it was like purposefully unanimous, or literally nobody was paying attention? Like, are there cameras of people being like, hey, wait, what just happened? Wait, what did we do?
I know, right? Oh God, I'm supposed to be paying attention.
Yeah.
8 says, yeah, but I don't want to wake up in the dark like I am right now. But that wouldn't be it, right? Like,
yeah, you can wake up whenever you want.
It's still you wake up when you wake up. It's just you might say you're waking up at 6 p.m. Right. You might say you're waking up at 6 a.m. for you, and it's actually dark out. It's just the numbers would change meaning. That's all.
Right.
You know what I think it is? I really trust our brains a lot. Like when I'm learning a new keyboard, or if I jump over to a Mac computer for a time, or I learn a new game, I try not to. Whoa, he's gone. Oh, you're back. Okay. Are you okay? You all right?
Yeah, my computer is like on the fritz or something. It's doing some wild stuff.
I've been telling you it's time to get a new one, but are you listening to it? I don't think you're listening to me.
I'm listening. It's just I
think you should listen to your mother. Anyhow, I think our brains know how to take over and begin to autopilot in a way when we're learning things, and we just don't trust them. Watching Iris is a reminder of this for me, because she's a new person, new brain, fresh out the womb, and she's learning stuff, and your body just kind of takes over. Well, same when we're learning, there's like, even try not to think about it too much. Let your brain figure it out. I don't know. I think like it would be a really interesting transition for sure. But after a little while, I think we would get used to it. Listen, after all of us going through a pandemic, we can do anything.
That's true. Time has no meaning right now. Now's the time to do it. Time has no meaning. It hasn't for the last however many years the pandemic has been happening, which I think is at least a year, probably more like 3. I'm not sure. Time has no meaning. But Lolly says universal time is a terrible idea. Thank you, Lolly. I appreciate just the nuance with which you present your opinions.
Lolly's got it together, guys.
All right, you ready to shoe a dough? You want to shoe a dough?
Yeah, I'm already shoeing the dough.
Okay.
I just started it before you did.
You know what I mean by that. We're going to do the DNA in you. That is a D topic from Danae and A topic from me, and U topics, which you can put in the chat at any point. Make sure you put a U in there, and we will save those for the end. If you have anything you want to ask us, any kind of question, anything you want us to discuss, just let us know and we will get to it at the end of the show. But we like to kick it off with Danae. Danae, what is the D topic for today?
I was thinking about the what is the word I'm looking for? The mirage of perfection, like how people say, this is perfect.
Illusion.
The illusion. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. But we all do think that something is perfect. And I'm not talking about like absolute perfection, but here's my question today, chat. And I hope this is a fun one because it's kind of like a fill in the blank. Blank is perfect. I heard someone say pizza is perfect. Now, I don't think pizza is perfect, but I also agree. Like they might think that pizza is perfect. I think we all have that thing that we think is perfect. Doesn't really need to be changed. It does what it's supposed to do. There could be lots of things. And it kind of started to like make me happy as I started to think of my list of things that I think are perfect because it ended up being things I like. I like this. And so as I was actually making my list yesterday, I was like, this is really kind of fun to actually go, this is perfect. And I think we end up maybe even accidentally relying on those quote unquote perfect things because you go back to them over and over again because you find something about them to be very complete. So I'll find like certain restaurants to have a very perfect drink because they make it consistently. But then my version of perfection is very different than someone else's in a lot of ways. So I thought I would just ask you guys to throw out some things that you think are perfect. And it might be a little bit less conversational, but I will tell you that mine is photography. Photography is so perfect. You get to capture a moment in time that you're choosing. And even though it's changed over time, I was thinking about how many pictures we take because we're hanging out as a family and friends this weekend and kind of capturing moments. I love it so much because I end up going back to those to kind of go, man, I was so in the moment then that I didn't stop and take a photo. And sometimes those memories are really valuable just because, and there's no one that was there. That's true. But it's also nice to be able to go back and see things. And photography has changed over time. I take a lot of pictures now and aren't present. Whereas before it was like the photo was the big thing you did every year. It was just like the one photo you took as a family and that was it because no one had cameras just lying in their pockets. So I don't know, but I think photography in and of itself is so, it's just perfect. We get to capture something that that person finds valuable or interesting and it can evoke a lot of emotion. So I picked photography. Oh, and high-waist jeans. I also think high-waist jeans are perfect, by the way. Yeah.
Nice. Lots of good choices in the chat already. Of course, Slab and Lolly coming in right at the beginning with Morning DNA is perfect.
Thanks, guys.
First of all, thank you.
We're not, but yes.
Second of all, no, we are.
Notice
definitely
Aaron and
not
I's order. Like we literally were just exactly opposite.
Gratitude is first, I think. But anyhow, no, it's interesting. The word perfect is interesting to me because perfect, as the word was originally defined, is to mean fulfilling its intended purpose. So when something is perfect, it's doing exactly what it was intended to do. We have come to have this connotation of the word perfect to mean without flaw, right? Like without any kind of
it's kind of
flaw
shifted.
or anything. Yeah, and that's not what the word originally meant. So you could say the morning DNA is perfect because the morning DNA does the thing you expect it to do. It fulfills exactly what the expectation is. So
what a day. But you're right, that's changed so much. And that's the thing about the word perfect. Like for me, I'm going to answer it maybe differently than you would, Aaron, because for you, if you go by the definition, you're like, this mug is perfect. It's fulfilling its purposes, its designed purpose because it is holding a container.
Yes.
And then you could look around your space and see like 100 things that are fulfilling their purpose. But doesn't that change? So what would be the word for you that perfect has come to mean for us? Is it like sentimental? No, because that's like more reflective, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's more reflective in memory.
I would have to find the word. What's interesting is, philosophically, is there anything that is without flaw?
No, not philosophically.
Right. So, there's the idea of, that kind of without flaw. So anyhow,
Chris Backinson says Dicer's ability to make any and all questions about definitions of words is perfect.
That's right. It is. It is absolutely perfect. I think Greg has a good one. Greg says chocolate is perfect. Chocolate's a good one. That's very,
Well,
very yummy.
and that's like, what kind of chocolate? We have to have this conversation, Greg. Do you have a particular kind of chocolate that you like, or is it like all chocolate's perfect?
It's true. There's a lot of different kinds.
Polly says hobbies are perfect because the product isn't the goal, but the process is. Perfect answer. I love that. Oh, perfect answer.
Yes.
Let's see. Doc says, I don't think pizza is perfect. I know pizza is perfect.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The JCD says, the art for the Moco D&D game, I'd say, is perfect. However, we are currently in a whelp, we're all dead moment of the campaign after session 1. Oopsie. Time to put some time travel in there, or like have an NPC come along and resurrect your people, and it's been 10 years and they're finally resurrected at some temple far, far away, and restart your campaign. There are ways around. There are ways around that. So the funny thing is, I think if I'm understanding correctly, so JCD commissioned the people that I'm wearing the shirt today, the Moco made, and they crafted dice bags that have like their D&D symbol on them, and they're like being painted. So the idea is that they're going to get these dice bags as part of their campaign. However, on the first session, they are now all dead and they don't even have their bags. That's pretty funny. I mean, I'm sorry,
Nice.
but that's pretty funny. Lolly says, having time zones instead of universal time is perfect. It's 6 p.m. here. What time is that for you? 1 a.m.? You're right. That's too late. Let's reschedule because I understand that your time is different.
But your brain would shift the other way, Lolly, too.
What do you mean the other way?
Instead of asking what time is it there, you would be asking what is it like at 5 there? It's just literally a different question, and you'd be like, oh, all right, well that's too late. Let's do this another time. Like it's just a change of the verbiage.
Okay, I got it. It's not actually time anymore. It's just colors.
I like it. I actually really like this.
I want it to be in the chartreuse zone for me, and this is a little bit too pink. So
yes, yeah, it's aquamarine right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I can't come to the phone. It's aquamarine.
yeah, that that makes sense. I'll see you on the indigo.
Kids,
then.
you have to be up at Royal Blue tomorrow. You have to be up by Royal Blue, or you are going.
Periwinkle.
Just let me sleep to Periwinkle, Dad.
I want to sleep the periwinkle.
That's amazing. I love that.
Oh no.
Elizabeth.
I think Moscow mules are perfect.
Do you know what's in a Moscow Mule, Danae?
Yeah.
Okay.
A
what is
copper
it?
mug is the container.
Yes. Has to be in a copper mug.
Ice,
Sure. If you want it on the rocks.
liquid of
It's vodka,
vodka,
ginger beer,
and ginger beer
and lime juice.
and lime juice. I knew that.
Yeah. None of that sounds great to me. But
Is that
hey,
why you know? Is because someone's been like, "Hey, have you ever tried a Moscow Mule?" And then they
Like,
describe it to you, and you're like,
let me
"Blah."
list 3 ingredients that all make you sick to your stomach. Let me.
With a splash of pickle juice.
That's right. That's right.
Castro says the Batman starring Robert Pattinson. For what it's worth, I usually don't like Batman as an actor, but Castro says that's pretty perfect. And Michael
Yeah.
adds, Into the Spider-Verse is perfect, along with other top 5 movies.
Into the Spider-Verse is so great. Withhold comment on the Batman because I don't want to yuck someone's yum. But no, the Batman is a pretty spectacular movie. No, Singing in the Rain, my number 1 movie of all time, is a perfect film in my opinion. It is just absolute perfection from beginning to end. I love it very much. So
I'm loving this one from Ronald, who says, I'm perfect. I have no bad qualities whatsoever. Hey, cheers to that. Congratulations on arriving.
Nice. The word that I finally came up with, Danae, is faultless. I think when we say perfect, we mean faultless.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
So then does that help you to find some things in your mind that you feel are faultless?
Again, I think it's an illusion. I think something being faultless is an illusion. But
I
yes,
understand that.
Singing
Here,
in the
let
Rain.
me.
Singing in the Rain is a faultless movie.
Okay, hold on a second. I got this. Just. And there, see, look. Bom, bom. Put some little quotations around it, indicating that this is
Nice.
sort of like an ish. This is an
Nice.
ish sitch. What do you think about that?
Very, very nice.
Does that help you?
That helps me a lot.
Is it a movie? Is it really Singing in the Rain?
Sure. I mean, if we're going to go by the idea of a feeling and not actual literal faultlessness, then yes, it would be a movie probably. Would be the answer.
And it would be
Handel's
your
Messiah.
top movie. Oh, ooh.
Just an incredible work of
music.
art. Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah, like when it all blends together and just like
It's insane. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I
Yes.
feel. Well, I
Yeah.
mean it's a little more euphoric than that.
Duel of the Fates. Yeah.
Devil Went
Very
Down
nice.
to Georgia. No.
Yes. That was third on my list. I was going to get there today. I was going to get to the devil and him or her going down to Georgia.
High-waist jeans. They're amazing. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Danae just sang the high waist jeans song. So,
Greg says Yahtzee is perfectly frustrating.
yeah. Yahtzee a fun game.
Yeah. Yep, there it is. You guys are good.
Flawless also works. Yes. Faultless.
Faultless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
You want to go on to yours now? Ooh,
Sure.
Norwegian chocolate. Yeah. Dark chocolate.
Yeah. Sure, we can go on to my question. The A topic this morning. What display / environment would you build in a children's museum to help kids be ready for the real world?
Oh, man. I know where this one comes from.
So, yeah, we got a chance to visit a place in St. Louis called the Magic House and also the City Museum. We went to two kind of quote-unquote children's museums. One was insane. The other was more like structured. I'm trying to think of different, like the kind of the differences, but they both were interesting in their own ways. If you don't know what the City Museum is just kind of like the world's largest and scariest jungle gym in many ways.
Yeah. Yep.
I die
So,
again. Did I go away again?
well, you're kind of like, and then like,
All right.
it looks like this. But we can still make it work. Yeah. So the City Museum, if you imagine artists getting together to design what an artist's version of education is like, exploration is probably more what the first one, City Museum is. St. Louis City Museum is like you walk in and all of these the architecture and the sculpting of this space is where they've taken like a 6-story building and they think it doesn't matter if like how are we going to get the kids from the top floor to the bottom floor in the most exploration minded way possible, and then they pulled in some spelunkers and some cave people who were like, let's do this. And then they pulled in some people who like, they just got these minds together where you go into, hey, here's a huge sculpture that is stretching from the floor to the ceiling of this massive floor of this building. It stretches about, 200-300 feet longer. It's huge. It's of a whale. And then as you approach it, you can peek inside of it and, it actually is hollow on the inside. And there's about 10 places that you can completely go around the corner and go underground. And then there's a tunnel and there's a slide that comes from above. And the only way to know what it looks like on the inside is to go into it. And that's how it is everywhere. Like there's just places to just disappear and all this stuff. That's like the City Museum. And then the Magic House, obviously designed very differently.
Yeah, the Magic House is more of a typical children's museum with like different experiments and different rooms. But the one that I think caught my attention the most and kind of led to this question was kind of this city that they've put together that has like all these different shops and actual places, like banks and pizza parlor and a hospital and like all this environment that you can walk around the city and do different things. There's, you can be a mechanic on a car, or you can go fishing and then repopulate the lake with your fish. And it's there's a veterinarian clinic, and like it was this
a mail
place
delivery service.
Yes, a mail delivery service. So it
a
just kind of got me
grocery
thinking,
store.
like, What would that environment be for you to help kids be ready for the real world, in any kind of way? Slab says budgeting. Okay.
There was actually a bank there as well. So this was a 2-story kind of section where they had built this whole world, and there was also like the electricity company where you could go and learn about how to power the thing. And it's kind of the idea, I think, was that no matter what you want to see in your city, you can kind of imagine being that here. And the bank was pretty boring compared to the other stuff, but it looked just like a bank. You walk in, there was a place to fill out your
Like
your
in real
deposit
life.
slips. And then there's like a little office that you could go and sit in, and there was a computer that you could sit at and type at. They had like fake money. And then they also had like safes, and there was interactivity there where you could open the safes and stuff, or try to open the safes, things like that. So there was a place to learn, and there's no adult telling the children how to be unless the parents were doing it. So it was all children-led educational. It was really, really neat. So there was a little bit of budgeting. We're talking about kids that are probably the age of, there's children in there that were just learning to walk up to about 10, I'd say, that were in that room. And they're all interactive. There's like an ice cream machine, or like a little pretend ice cream maker, and all the kids would just jump up, and Iris was doing one where she's scooping ice cream for us. And so we as the adults are like ordering ice cream, and she's scooping the ice cream and she's putting it together. It was this really cute little ice cream thing. And then there was another kid that just walks up and gets in line with the adults. And then it's like that little kid's turn. And so Iris just keeps like doing ice cream, and they're all just, imagining with each other. It was really powerful.
Yeah, definitely. Ronald says, or Captain Rebel says, learning how to crack safes.
Yeah, it's a very important skill set.
That is actually in there. I don't know if you saw that, Danae. In the bank.
No, I saw it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They have 3 safes with different lengths of codes, and the kids had to try to crack the safes in the bank.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that actually happened. Let's see. Ronald says, I'd say have a place where they can get injustice done to them and they can't do anything about it.
That happens in every room because the children have to get along. Like one comes over and grabs something, and they're like, wait, what? And so they have to work it out. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of that happened in the veterinary clinic, actually, because that was probably the most exciting place for the children to come. That was pretty good.
To work on the pets, they had little stuffed animals that were the animals to be worked on, and then they had little like casts you could put on them. Of course, the what are the
cones?
They had cones for them, that kind of stuff.
You walk in, you can put on a little vet smock, and then they have all the things that you would need to care for the animals, and they have like all of the cages open and closed to get the animals, and then they have stuffed animals that have dog collars or kitty collars on them with name tags attached. And then on the kennels are the names of the animals, so they can try to match up names. They had x-rays, you could weigh them. Then they had like a grooming station where you could groom them and actually blow the air on them. So it was really, really interactive. Yeah, I think that maybe the only thing that I would have added is a school, which maybe they didn't do because they go to school. But just a place where they could have a dedicated, like, this is where we learn. Because I think that oftentimes, like for me, when I was in school, I liked to become the teacher. I liked to teach my stuffed animals. I'd come home and I would teach my stuffed animals what I learned that day. And I think that'd be really interesting to see children in a school environment inside of this play world where would they go sit down? Would they be the teacher? And that would be very, very cool to see. They also, in a separate area, they had different exhibits, and they have an exhibit right now for India, which was so neat because it was a completely new world for them. They had the Indian market. They had a house set up where you could go in and see like what a house looks like, how they hang their clothes out to dry. You could wrap the sari around yourself and kind of, learn about that culture. They had the bus, they had Bollywood, they had, just different things and different ways of interacting. You could learn about spices. And I think that's another important thing inside of a little world, is to also learn how to get out of that world and do something unique. So that was another place in this massive building. I mean, they had so much at the Magic House. This is just one area, this one huge room, but they had so many other things for them to explore with, science, technology. There was engineering and math. All the STEM things were there, and it was very tactile. There was all kinds of stuff going on. But for day to day, based on your question, I think I'd like to see something that was more like a teaching. And maybe if it's not school, like on their level, maybe it would look more college if they wanted to kind of like push them outside of their comfort zone. And there also wasn't like a lab, and that would have been really neat. However, on the opposite side of that wall was a lab where they could go in and they could use water and measure things. So it was just it was right there. It was just they had to go around like a little corner to get to it. So it was really fascinating. I highly recommend, if anyone is in the United States, in the Midwest, you're kind of in that, like that, you want to just take a trip over there. This Magic House Children's Museum was a really, really good experience. Iris talked about it on the way home quite a lot.
Danae was arrested at one point.
I was. There wasn't a
pizza
jail.
Parlor.
Could be something else that'd be kind of fun, like a little cops and robbers type situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I was.
I did have a good conversation too about the interesting, all the stuff they did with understanding Indian culture and that kind of stuff. And then also that there was a little bit of what we would now call appropriation, where you're like dressing in the outfits and, but there's kind of something that kids need to do to practice empathy, where they do kind of put themselves in somebody else's shoes. And, there's a difference between appropriating a culture. I think, again, this was the conversation we had, and I'd be open to hear anybody's opinion on this, but there's a difference between finding empathy and finding out what it's like to be another culture, or putting a sari on, or, whatever the case may be, to understand another culture, and then, or using that and making it your own so that you can have more views on Instagram, or, whatever the case may be. So it's, I don't know, it's an interesting distinction and conversation to have, like, about that kind of stuff. As we were kind of walking around all that India exhibit.
I'm watching Top Chef right now, and there's one of the contestants, one of the chefs, was saying that when she was growing up, she didn't like having people come over to her house because they had something called banana ketchup, and I think she might be Filipino, I think, and that she got, she was afraid to get made fun of, or did get made fun of, because that was like their food. I don't know. I would like to see that becoming more of something that the adults. It's almost like, hey, adults, like, open up your child's mind to try new flavors and things like that, because there's a lot of diversity, and I think it's important to bring that to the table. I think the conversations of appropriation happen much later in life, but for what this place is doing is it's saying this is what another child's life is like someplace else, someplace outside of you. But also there was an Indian family walking around, and they were loving it. They're like, like, look, hey, this is where, hey, check it out. They had, the dots on their foreheads, and were showing other children things. And it was just a really exciting experience to be seen like that. And I love that a lot.
Yeah. Very nice. All right. I'm ready to move on to the you questions. If you are, Danae, see what other people have to say.
Yes, but I also want to read this from Molly, who says, when I was at uni, I was part of an SEA team where we put on psychology learning days for primary school kids to get them excited about science and give them an opportunity to visit the university. Kids' favorite was generally anything with spinning optical illusions. We learned pretty quick that you have to pause it early because there's almost always one puker in every class.
Nice.
No!
Amazing.
And Lolly sums it up well and says, appropriation versus appreciation is all about context.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And Kastrov adds, culture appropriation is only an issue when it risks the culture being lost or unfairly criticized. I will say Kastrov started that comment by saying, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. If you have a question for us, now is the time. Whatever that might be.
Oh,
So just put a U at the
poor
beginning
Aaron.
or just ask away.
Poor Aaron. Poor Aaron's internet, you guys. Poor. You okay? Are you back, Aaron?
I'm back. I'm very frustrated.
I'm sure.
It makes me so sad.
I know. It's time. It's time. We got to pull the plug on one computer, set up a new one. It's such a pain in the butt. Prayers for the new computer. Here we go.
Yeah. It's not a great time to buy a computer right now either.
I know. I bought one. It was crazy. We're going to start with this one from Beastly Moron that Aaron starred earlier. Hey, Danae and Aaron. Recently, I brought up listening to y'all's old content and got y'all off on a long tangent.
Here we go again.
Like long tangents. Well, I wanted to bring it back for a second because I heard Aaron discuss his love of watching League of Legends tournaments back on an old episode of The Critic, the Geek, and the Girl. I gotta know, is this still a thing for you, Aaron?
I wish I was more in touch with the League of Legends schedule, because what happens is I don't realize when they're happening, but I do love watching the big tournaments, the Worlds, I think there's, I can't remember if it's North American or if there's just an American championship. I do love that stuff. It is, I understand the game enough to follow it, and works. Exciting game. So yeah, I really do enjoy it. But I haven't watched in a while, mainly because I'm just not tied in to like when stuff is.
Have you explored Twitch?
Yes, of course I have, but that's not helpful to me.
Why
That's
not?
like, because
it's more the tournament side that you enjoy, not
correct.
Okay,
it's the big tournaments that I like. Like I like the best of the best going at it at Worlds, you know. So yeah, I'm not interested necessarily in just watching people play League of Legends. I'm interested in watching the pros.
I wonder if you would be able to find some pros on them, and then like if you watch, they're probably scheduling and stuff, and you can keep up if you really wanted to.
Yes,
But
yeah, that's the thing. No. I totally could keep up if I wanted to. This is not a matter of like, oh no, there's no resources. No, if I stayed tied in, I just, because I'm so busy with other things, I don't stay tied into that universe. And occasionally I'll hop on and be like, hey, when is Winter Worlds? Oh, I just missed it. They were a month ago. Oh, well, you know, like that kind of thing. And so, yeah, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah. Next question's from Greg. What is a question that you would want to ask someone who is blind from birth?
Okay. All right.
This is a fun one. I would ask what the first thing you'd want to see is, if you could see. Because I figure that you've had a lot of people try to explain things to you over time. And so maybe there's something that you're most curious about. But I wonder if people like ask you what you would want, or if you even want to see, because it's something that, you know,
right,
you might not even really want to.
It's been one of the interesting things with some of the movies and stuff that have come out recently on deafness, blindness, those kind of things, in the idea of there is a division is too strong of a word, but there is a conversation amongst those communities about accepting and embracing your existence the way it is versus wanting it to be different, right? Like there's this idea of, if you're always wanting different, then you're living a constant life of dissatisfaction, as opposed to understanding there's real beauty in who I am, and you know, those kind of things. So it's been interesting to kind of hear those conversations, which is what your answer made me think of. So
just to kind of follow up, Greg answers this by saying, this is really my real answer, not just my spiritual answer. So please don't think I'm just trying to be overly cliche or spiritual, but the first thing I really ever want to see is the face of Jesus. I think that's awesome. Yeah. I think that's awesome. It's awesome that you know what it is, and what an incredible experience that could be.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Bubble tea. Do you love it or hate it? Do you love it or hate it, Aaron? I love it. I don't drink it very often, but when I do drink it, I really enjoy it.
I have very much a predilection for bubbly in drinks. I love the little capsules. I think they're amazing. Like I've loved tapioca pudding forever because of that texture thing. Like, so yeah, I definitely dig it.
Awesome. Here's one from Wikitoko who says, when do you decide it's time for a new car? When does sunken cost become a thing? For example, I'm getting $1,300 of work done right now on my 10-year-old car. I apply the this is after talking a lot with Aaron through the years, actually. If the cost of the repair is more than the value you could sell the car for, then that's when I start to weigh my options. And sometimes it just comes down to convenience. Like, what car would I buy? So if you have $1,300 and you could buy a $1,300 used car that still needs more repairs, but maybe you could find one that's in decent shape and it's not the same kind of repair issue. It's a pain in the butt. But that's kind of when I start to go, oh, so I could fix this problem for $120. Would I buy this car for $120?
Yep.
Yeah, I would buy this car for $120. And so then I just kind of keep up with a limp along situation. And I limped along with my car for a great number of years. So if you're looking at the car and you're like, I would spend $1,300 to repair this car to be able to drive it for another few years, then you go ahead and do it.
Yeah. I think Danae hits it on the head as far as how I view it. There are two perspectives you can use. One is okay, somebody offered me this vehicle as it will be after it's fixed for this amount of money. Do I buy it? And if the answer is yes, then I think you get the work done. The other way is you could also divide whatever cost by however long you think it's going to last after you get the work done, and think of, okay, what is the monthly cost of this vehicle for me to be using right now? And, so if you're paying $1,200 and you think that's going to extend it another year, $100 a month, yeah, probably makes sense. But yeah, that's, everybody kind of has those own lines. I think a car is one of the key places that people can learn what it means to budget, what it means to what things are worth. Because there are, in my opinion, too many people who are just like, oh, I'm always going to have a car payment. That's just going to be in my budget for as long as I live. So, and I think that's unfortunately a difficult way to live. You don't have to have that debt in your life at all times. So, yeah.
This one's
but people
from...
think the same thing about phones, by the way, right now. Phones are the new cars, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
By the way, Lolly asks, Aaron, what was your best celebrity meeting experience at this year's Critics' Choice Awards? It's a great question.
Yeah, on the level of like, I can't believe this is happening, was probably Will Smith.
That was insane.
That was the one where I was like, oh, I'm talking to the Fresh Prince. Like, this guy has been a huge part of my pop culture universe since high school, and like that's amazing that he would smile at me and laugh with me and just take a few seconds to shake my hand and talk and then take a picture. Like that was pretty cool. On a actual personal one-on-one kind of level, Lin-Manuel was really great, just to say thank you for all the great work he's doing.
Thank you,
and on a conversational level, probably had the most conversation with
She just
Melanie
asked
Linsky.
for one. I'm sorry. What was it?
Melanie Linsky. We had quite a conversation with. So yeah.
This one comes from Michael. Michael, what animal would you like to spend a day as? Assuming it's exactly one whole day. I know my answer. While we were in St. Louis, we went to go see Clydesdales at the Busch farm.
Oh, yeah.
I would for sure want to be a Clydesdale for a day. Those things look so cool. And specifically, I'd want to be one that was well taken care of and had a lot of running room, like at the Grant's Farm. So I'm going to say Grant's Farm Clydesdale. I'm going to give myself a little caveat. I don't want to be like any horse, because then I might be one of the wild horses that has been like sent to the desert or something.
Right.
I want to be like a really loved and brushed and cared for beautiful horse that can just like run around and like feel the power of running, which I guess at Grant's Farm, you don't have like the freedom of just like space because it is somewhat confined. So I'd think about it. Maybe I could research some other places in the world where there's just like these beautiful open lands. But horse for sure. I want to know what it's like to just run and feel the power of like, that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
be like giving rides to people and be like, hey, hop on. And it's so epic with like this long hair just like flowing in the wind. It'd be amazing.
Spending a day as I'm gonna go with a flying animal. Just because that would be fun to I think
Oh,
may-
yeah.
maybe a hummingbird would be fun just because of the ability to really like
It's so
hover
tiny.
and of course I picked the tiniest animal possible. I mean like there
Like-
is some attraction to being like an eagle or a hawk or something like
Sure.
that,
Like a bird of
but
prey.
there's something really agile about the hummingbird that I think would be really fun, and no other bird can just like hover. Like so
Yeah. No, like a.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm super with you on that. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I think this one is about the game, but did you like KDA or True Damage, Aaron? I think they're
Ronald,
testing your knowledge.
I think they're
I
testing
think they're
my
testing your knowledge, sir.
All I understand about KDA True Damage, I believe it's because there's music involved, if I'm correct in understanding this.
I don't know.
I have no opinion, Ronald. So yeah, I
Here's one from-
apologize. I don't know that much.
Here's one from Steven who asks, have you ever had red or green chile from New Mexico? No.
I have not.
Nope. But instantly I have to poop. So thanks for that. JCD asks, so I finally took my shot and I asked somebody out. She
Okay.
said yes, by the way.
Fair.
It's long distance. So what are some fun date ideas that could be done online until an in-person date can be arranged? Well, this is where the most fun comes from what you know about her.
Right.
Dating is interesting because it's a chance for you to try to find like things to do together to both learn more about each other, but also kind of show that you already do know that person. So my instinct, it would be to start with something that is a good combination of what she likes and what you want to show about yourself too. Dating is not about trying to keep a person. It's about showing who you are, because if they don't like you, you want to know pretty early on if you're wasting your precious time. Because like, I think that we have this idea that when you date people, you want to like try to keep them. Like the goal is I'm going to make myself into this person that's so amazing that they can't go or whatever. But really it's just a chance to create opportunities and memories and figure out, does this person respond like I want them to respond? So that's why you go to restaurants. You want to see how they treat the wait staff. Like
Yeah.
you don't, food is great, but you go there. So it's like, how are you when it's late? How are you when they give you the wrong thing? Because if they're total, jerks, then you can kind of see more about their personality or whatever. So recreating that online will be really interesting, but it could be cool to like order food at the same time. And have Uber take it to your house, and so you get to actually eat together. That'd be cool.
What if you made the same meal virtually together and then ate it? What if it was like you each had like a recipe and you made it together and then
You make
ate
it like you're cooking it.
Yeah, you're cooking it together, like you're FaceTiming or Google Meet or whatever, and then you're making the same stuff.
I mean, depending on the skill level and the desire to make food, that could be very interesting stress.
There are lots of things you can do online. There are virtual museums. Like you could visit a virtual museum together and kind of look at the art and talk about it, that kind of stuff, kind of get to know what each other likes.
You could do the Google Maps game, the map game where you're kind of like guessing where things are in the world, but then that gives you conversation about like, what do you think about this building, or what do you think is in here? Just kind of get creative.
Yeah. You could watch a movie together online. Many of the streaming services offer like party watching, or
You could play
or
a video
whatever.
game together on Steam.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of fun. Like hop on Discord and like just spend some time together. So all kinds of
Take a
ideas.
personality test. Take a personality test together. Like that could be fun. Like if you're really wanting to kind of get to know each other, like that opens up like some really So for me, like when I have a relationship, a friendship, I want to know like what the person thinks about deep is. Like I love talking about deep stuff. Part of the reason I like doing this. So yeah, like those kind of personality tests, those kind of things can really open up some interesting side trail conversations, and you can kind of figure out who each other are and those kind of things, get to know each other. So yeah.
Lots of ideas. Hey, Verts. Holy crap. I missed you come in the chat. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Derek. Holy crap. We are nearing the end of our little morning show this morning. You guys can always find our other shows both here on Twitch, where they replay for I think a couple of months, but you can also listen to our podcast, Shoe the Dough. Let's see. Do we have all that up on the screen? Yep.
Yeah. You can also sub on YouTube, where they live forever. If you want to see old shows there, you can certainly do that. The podcast is going to be the place you can find the most. I think this is, I'd have to look, but we're getting close, Danae, to 100 of these.
Of our new show format
of our
on
new
Twitch?
format. Yeah. So.
Oh my God.
So,
It's been a lot of fun for us. We've been doing a show of some kind together for 10 years, Aaron and I. And so we love doing this. And we have loved being able to do this with you guys on Twitch. For those of you guys who are watching from Twitch, I've got a couple of options. Do you want to watch somebody paint, or do you want to watch somebody RP today? Let me know in the chat. Brush for Hire is painting, like he's wrapping up the paint on a miniature, and it's really beautiful. In fact, I think I'm going to send you there. I think I'm just going to make the decision, and I'm going to send you to Brush for Hire because
there you go. There you go.
He is doing some really cool stuff today. And plus, it's like my 13-month sub.
Nice.
So we're going to go over and say hi to Brush here in just a second. But for all of you guys watching, please, please, please check out the rest of our content. You can find out more ways to support Aaron and I at patreon.com/StudioDNA, which is like a little space that he and I created for our own content. And then we also work with other people from time to time to help them launch their podcasts and figure out the content that they're passionate to put out there. And yeah, you can find more of us throughout the week on Twitter and Twitch. And we'll see you next Monday or someday. We go live every Mondays at 9 a.m. Central.
All right. We'll see you then. Hopefully I won't be as
Yeah, oh, poor Aaron.